Ciao Milanisti, it's your boy Kush in the Milan Corner. The new season has officially kicked off, the players are back to training and the amazing fans are back to supporting. Milanisti, we got some big piece of news as Milan has officially filed an offer for Charles De Ketelaere. And where exactly did the latest official moves fall on this graph in a new segment I like to call Plot the Official Moves? What's going on with Hakim Ziyech and how close is he to joining Milan? Milanisti, these are the stories and profiles we're going to be looking at today in today's episode of Rumor or Real. Alright guys, so with the confirmation of Paolo Maldini and Enrique Masada's contracts, Milan is now focusing on the mercato. And one of the profiles that everybody seems to agree on, the CEO, the directors, the ownership group, the coach, is Charles De Ketelaere. Naturally, the coaching staff and everybody recognizes the importance of having a central attacking midfielder behind the strikers, some creativity that we were seriously lacking in pretty much the entire episode of Ibrahim Diaz. And I'm happy to see that at this point in time, Milan have decided they're gonna make this move official. They want Charles De Ketelaere. But their offer doesn't quite say that they're very serious about bringing this guy to Milan. Their latest offer, according to multiple reports, is about 20 million plus bonuses. Now, this player is probably valued somewhere between the 30 to 40 million mark by Club Brugge. Now, there are two other clubs that are in contention. One is Leeds United and one is Leicester City. Now, let's be real. Neither of these clubs are AC Milan, but more importantly, neither of these clubs have Champions League happening next season. And that is something that Milan are particularly banking on. Charles wants to take the next step. He wants to play in a bigger league, but he also wants to show his presence in the Champions League. And one of the reasons Milan probably made a lower offer is obviously they believe that the player is interested in coming to the club. So they are obviously initially lowballing them. I think they're probably waiting to hit that sweet spot somewhere around that 25 million mark to actually solidify this player. So at this point in time on the Rumor or Real meter, guys, with Maldini and Masada's contracts being done, I think in the last video I may have had Charles De Ketelaere move to Milan as unlikely. I'm actually gonna go all the way full. I think this is real. This is a legitimate pursuit now. And will he actually join Milan or not? I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but this is real. Milan's pursuit is real. They have opened up the official channels to bring this player to Milan. And before we jump into the Paulo Dybala and Hakim Ziyech stories, guys, I want to just say thank you to our sponsors one more time in OneFootball. OneFootball has decided to stay with the Milan Corner for the month of July. I really appreciate them supporting this channel. And you guys can support them by clicking the link in the description and downloading the OneFootball app. Guys, the OneFootball app is the place where you can get all your football information. Guys, when the season starts, OneFootball has an incredible amount of highlights from so many different leagues that you can check out. Obviously, you have your top news story. As a Milan fan, I assume you are, you can download the app, set AC Milan as your primary club. All the news information, all the news alerts about Milan, about Hakim Ziyech, about Paulo Dybala, get straight to your phone. This is your one-stop shop for all things football. So once again, guys, click the link in the description and download the OneFootball app. All right, let's now plot one of the official moves, guys. In the new segment I like to call Plot the Official Moves. Milanisti, let me try and simplify this graph. The vertical line, that's the importance. How important is that particular official move to Milan's success? And the horizontal line, that is, does it bring us closer to the next title, the 20th Serie A title or the 8th Champions League, or does it push us further back into the banter era? Now, the first official move that we're gonna graph, guys, that's gonna be Maldini and Masada's renewal. Where do you think it sits on the graph? For me, it's pretty easy, right up here. This move was critical to the future of this club. It is arguably one of the most important moves for the next 2 years, keeping these two cornerstones at the club. At the same time, it pushes us for sure into the right direction. It definitely pushes us to get closer to getting that Serie A title or the Champions League trophy. In the previous episode, I did have Matt Santangelo come to talk about that. He was obviously frustrated by this delay of firming up on this renewal. I was frustrated by it, but at this point in time, guys, the deal is done. We can clearly tell one thing about Redbird. If there's anything to pick out from this thing about Redbird, it's this. They are very shrewd negotiators. Elliot and Redbird are very shrewd negotiators. I like that. Teams get taken advantage of far too often. I like that Milan has an ownership group that will not get taken advantage of for the long-term success of the team. That matters. We won't see it right now because all we obsess over is how much money are we spending in the mercato. But that's not all that a football club is about. So without getting too deep into this, I'm happy with this move, a crucial move to the success success of this club. Milanisti, the Paulo Dybala reports, they were very tempting, very exciting. Last time at Mercato was the same situation. He was the dream move for me. This time at Mercato, he would have been a pretty solid freaking pickup. I know the injury issues, I know the problems that come with Paulo Dybala, but no matter what, that would have been a pretty solid pickup for a Serie A side. In the previous video, I'd had him as unlikely. I'm gonna sit right there. If I could turn that red from rumor to not happening, I would actually downgrade him to not happening, because at this point in time, I just can't see Milan going after Dybala. I think they have pretty much set their targets. They want Charles De Ketelaere and they want Hakim Ziyech. Those are the profiles that they think can actually happen in a financially feasible manner. They don't want to overpay a new signing, pay him 6-7 million. What do you think Rafael Leao is going to sit here and say if Milan brings Paulo Dybala for 6 million? Milan has offered Leao an extension at 4.5 million. If you suddenly sign a player at 6 million, suddenly Theo Hernandez is going to look and say, hey, what's going on here? What about my pay? Why am I not getting paid? Well, I'm a pretty important player too. So I don't think Milan is at all going to break the bank for Paulo Dybala. Middle of July, maybe something might happen, but right now, no chance of it happening. Milanisti, Hakim Ziyech is a perfect profile for Milan. As I've said in the previous videos, Milan wants that Mr. X signing. They want that big profile, that popular player that the fans are gonna love, and they're gonna forgive Redbird, forgive Elliott management for the delays with Maldini and Masada's contracts. And Hakim Ziyech is that profile. And here's the best part about the Hakim Ziyech profile. Milan can do something that they did with Fikayo Tomori with Chelsea. They can bring him in on loan and they can get an obligation or option to sign on a permanent basis. At this point in time, it looks like Milan are possibly going with a loan move. They're then going to include a buy option that will solidify into a buy obligation dependent on certain criteria, like probably appearances or if he scores a certain amount of goals. Those factors could make this move permanent, and that will happen for pretty cheap for Milan for one more season. Now, they're still trying to figure out the exact solution with Chelsea. Some reports have suggested that Milan actually might pay 25 million and just bring him on a permanent basis. In the previous video on the rumor real meter, I believe I had Hakim Ziyech as possible. It's time to upgrade this one too. I think I'm gonna call this real. This move is potentially really happening. Milan, this is not a conversation or reports anymore. I think they have fully opened up the official channels. They have made those initial offerings. They have also talked to Hakim Ziyech's entourage. He's on board to come into Milan. Chelsea's on board to sending him. Now it's just trying to figure out the actual solution of the formula. Now, another profile being linked with Milan is Amadou Diallo. He's a PSG center back that looks like he's being linked with Milan. Some reports are pretty certain. They're like, oh, this is a done deal. He's coming to Milan. Now, obviously, Alessio Romano only left Milan. He's going to be joining his boyhood club that he's always loved in Lazio. But we definitely need a replacement. At this point in time, it looks like Amadou Diallo might be that person. And on the rumor real meter, I'm going to call this possible. All the reports seem to be pretty firm on it. I don't really have too much of information on this particular player, but I'm pretty comfortable saying that this is a possible move. And a player that might be leaving Milan is Daniel Maldini. So no one-man club for Maldini. Let's not even focus on that. Let's not put that kind of pressure on this guy to have to replicate his dad's 900 game plus career with AC Milan. Daniel Maldini had 2 decent seasons with Milan, had an important goal against Spezia last season. I think it is pretty important that Daniel Maldini gets that play time, gets that consistent play time to really be able to improve as a player. He's gotten the guidance from Ibrahimovic and the biggest players and the biggest attackers now in the league. And now it's time for him to go out there and actually apply that skill set. So it looks like Verona or Cremonese might be interested in the player. So Daniel Maldini's departure from Milan, guys, that is real. I'm actually hoping that that is actually the case. I'd be happy to see Milan send him out on loan and, you know, get those 15 to 20 games under his belt. Now, after the confirmation of Maldini and Masada, there was some conversation about what's going to happen with Renato Sanchez. Now, guys, Renato Sanchez situation is getting somewhat interesting. You know, Botman deal was done. He's gone to Newcastle. That thing is over. But Renato Sanchez was supposed to be going to PSG. There was reports that they've made an offer, first 30 million, then 20 million, then 10 million. Reports were conflicting, but at this point in time, Lille president has made a statement saying that they don't have an offer from PSG for Renato Sanchez. So does that mean that Sanchez is now fair game for Milan? Can they actually bring him as a central midfielder? First of all, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, should Milan still be going for Renato Sanchez? Now, Italian reports and reports by close Milan journalists are saying that Milan are definitely going for the Portuguese midfielder still. Guys, at this point in time, I'm a little bit confused about this one because suddenly we have Pobega come back, we have Yacine Adli there, we have the central midfield depth that we might need for a double pivot. it. Obviously, Sanchez's qualities and his experience are totally next level compared to these guys. They're still coming up. He's actually pretty much proven himself now, so he would be a solid pickup for Milan, but does the budget actually allow that? Is Milan actually waiting for a little bit longer so that Lille kind of agrees to lower their price point for him? Initially, there were reports that Milan was trying to do a deal at 18 million. Then PSG came in and really raised the stakes. Are Milan waiting for the middle of July? Because that's when there's a possibility that clubs will try to, start offloading their players. So seeing how the coach is probably looking at these midfielders that have come back in training sessions and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't actually need a central midfielder. Is that possible? At this point in time, guys, I'm going to stick with my unlikely prediction for Renato Sanchez to Milan. There you have it, Milanisti. Those are some of the stories and profiles we wanted to check out today, Milanisti. The season is almost upon us. I don't even know when it flew by. The off season is pretty much done. The team's back. The big players are going to be coming probably in the next coming weeks. And the preseason starts in a couple of weeks. Guys, I haven't even set up the new studio for you guys yet, but if you want to support this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button right there. Hit the bell notification so you can watch the Milan Corner videos as soon as I upload them. And continue to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at the Milan Corner, where we talk about all things football as well. And as always, Forza Milan, grazie mille e ciao tutti!